ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। We are hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. This is the conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. Maitreya is narrating Vidura the various pastimes, especially how Swayambhuva Manu with his wife Shatarupa, they performed great tapasya. As a result of their great tapasya, they got amazing children. And there are such great children. In each of those children, Supreme Lord himself appeared in their family. So he's giving all those details. So Swayambhuva Manu has 2 sons and 3 daughters. Devahuti, Akuti, Prasuti. Devahuti is married to a great Rishi, Kardama Rishi, and again both of them did great tapasya. As a result of their tapasya, Supreme Lord appeared as Kapila Deva. And then again the second daughter, Akuti, was married to Brahma's son, Richi Prajapati, and Supreme Lord appeared as Yajna in the second daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. Now the third daughter, Prasuti, is married to Brahma's another son, Daksha Prajapati. So now that is a discussion, that is a description is now going on. The details of Daksha Prajapati, his children. Daksha Prajapati has got 16 daughters, and among the 16 daughters, the 13 daughters are married to Dharmaraja, Yama, and 1 daughter is Sati, married to Lord Shiva. So when he was describing the details, Maitreya Rishi told that all the 13 daughters who are married to Dharmaraj, and Dharmaraj got Naranarayana as his children. Again, Supreme Lord appeared as a grandchild of the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. Like this, every daughter of Swayambhuva Manu received the Supreme Lord in their family. So that is the greatness of this family. So here we can see that one can live a family life in such a glorious way. The Supreme Lord gets attracted to your life, that he comes into your family. He comes in your own home as son, as grandson, like Kapila Deva, Yajna, now Naranarayana. Like this, Maitreya Rishi is explaining. And then he said, but Sati Devi, she did not get any children. Then Vidura got curious. How everybody got great children in that family, why Sati Devi did not get any children? Maitreya Rishi said, before she got any children, she gave up her body. Then Vidura asked next question, why at such young age, such a great lady, Sati Devi, she gave up her body? So Maitreya Rishi described the reason for that. The reason is that the fight, the enmity between Daksha Prajapati with a great Vaishnava, Lord Shiva, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. It's a very interesting relationship. Daksha Prajapati is none other than the son of Lord Brahma, who himself is a great person. And Daksha Prajapati is a Vaishnava, he is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. Despite being such great background, that being a son of Lord Brahma and being a devotee of Lord Vishnu, unfortunately, he developed hatredness, enmity towards another Vaishnava, Lord Shiva. Even though Lord Shiva did not do any mistake, for some silly reason, Daksha Prajapati developed unhealthy feelings towards another devotee of Lord Vishnu. So Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us a great lesson how should be our relationship with other devotees. If our relationship with other Vaishnava is not good, what happens? Even though I am a devotee, Daksha Prajapati is not an ordinary person. He is not a materialistic person. He is a devotee of Lord Vishnu. Even though you are a devotee, you can ruin your life. We can destroy our life if I don't have healthy relationship with other Vaishnavas. So once all the Prajapatis together, they were performing a great yajna, Prajapati yajna. So there everybody was invited, all great people were invited, including Lord Brahma himself was present. When Brahma is there, obviously Lord Shiva was also there. So Brahma is there, Shiva is there. So the next expected personality is Lord Vishnu, but he was not present. Because Lord Vishnu was aware that this Daksha Prajapati does not have good feelings for Lord Shiva. So the moment we don't have good feelings for another devotee, Supreme Lord will not come to such place. We may make grand arrangement. We can make expensive arrangement, bring all costly items, and we can flaunt, we can splurge, we can show off. But the Lord will not come to such place, because the Lord will see first what is inside in our heart. So Lord Vishnu saw what is inside the heart of Daksha. There is so much of unhealthy feelings towards another great devotee, Lord Shiva. So Lord Vishnu did not come because he knew some Vaishnava aparadh will happen in that event. And wherever Vaishnava aparadh happens, there Vishnu will never come. Narayana, Krishna will always be absent in that kind of a place from such atmosphere. So everybody was coming. At the end, like a great hero entry, Daksha made his entry and everybody stood up from their seat and giving respect. And you know, when people give respect, the person who receives respect should very compassionately look upon those who are giving respect. Scripture says this, by remembering Krishna, Narayana, reminding ourselves that all these people are offering respect not to me, but to the Paramatma in my heart. So by remembering that Paramatma, we should pray for those who are offering respect for their well-being. But Daksha was taking all that respect upon himself. He thought himself is a very great person. So with that mood, when he entered, he saw two people did not show any respect. They did not stand up from their seat. So one was Lord Brahma. So somehow he tolerated because Brahma is his father. Okay, no problem, my father, he did not stand up, that is all right. But another person did not stand up. That irritated Daksha. Who is that? Lord Shiva. And who is he? Not just Lord Shiva, he is his son-in-law. He said, oh my God, look at this person. I am his guru, he said. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the verse says, Daksha says, I am his guru. So one may say, when did Daksha become the guru for Lord Shiva? How Lord Shiva accepted? No. In the normal understanding, when somebody gives his daughter So son-in-law becomes disciple and father-in-law becomes guru. That is a normal traditional understanding. But Daksha took that very seriously. He said, I am superior to Lord Shiva because I am his father-in-law. So he should show me respect. It made him so angry. One person did not stand up. In the entire assembly, let's say 98 people stood up. 2 people did not stand up. One is Brahman. So he was dissatisfied. He was not satisfied with 98 people showing respect. He was so dissatisfied because one person did not show respect. You see how much, our mind can develop hankering for respect. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what is that? When we develop hankering for respect, that amanina manadena. Amani, don't seek respect. The moment you seek respect, we forget our Vaishnava behavior. We forget Krishna. So we start engaging unwanted behavior, and that's what happened with Daksha. So he started scolding Lord Shiva, offending Lord Shiva. He said, look at this person. He's so ugly. He said, he's so ugly. My daughter is so beautiful. And this Shiva is unfit. He is unfit to sit in this assembly. Why? He is so degraded. Like this, he started offending Vaishnava, thinking Kaya, Vacha, Manasa. Already in his mind, he was upset. And now through his words, he is offending. And he spoke very badly. He said he is an ugly person. He looks so bad. His eyes are like a monkey's eyes. And somebody said, okay, it's fine. It's all right. Somehow, you should tolerate. He's your son-in-law. No. His associates are all very bad. Not only he was offending Vaishnava Shiva, he is offending his associates also. And then he is offending the place where he lives. Like this, all kinds of offense he did. And then he went away. Then Nandi, the servant of Lord Shiva, he was so upset hearing this. How this Daksha insulted our master, Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva at that time, Sada Ramadhyani, Shanta. He was so peaceful, so calm. When somebody insults us, we become immediately angry. Lord Shiva was not at all angry. He was very Shanta, very calm. And so Nandi told, my dear Lord Shiva, your father-in-law spoke so badly about you. Did you hear? Then Lord Shiva, is it so? He spoke badly about me? Oh, I didn't pay attention. Why? He was fully absorbed in Ramadhyana, meditating on Lord Ram. He didn't even hear. He didn't even take those words seriously. Then he said, it's okay, leave it, Nandi. I think my father-in-law has some misunderstanding. I think we should not take it seriously like this. And then he left it, he went off. But Daksha, he got even more angry and upset because, these people, when they scold somebody, they want the other person to respond. Then only the drama will happen. So when the drama does not happen, you don't get that satisfaction. So Lord Shiva did not give any response. So Daksha wanted to take it to next level and insult and fight. So he did not get that opportunity. So he was very dissatisfied with that. You see, he is a devotee, but even then he is harboring ill feelings. So it is leading to a next level of offense. So now he made another plan. He organized another yajna called Brihaspati Sthava Yajna. And he invited everyone except Lord Shiva and his own daughter Sati Devi. So that is all the background of what is happening here. So in that, everybody is going to attend this Brihaspati Sthava Yajna, and Sati Devi is surprised, where are they all going? And then she came to know that her own father has organized an amazing program, but she is not invited. So she goes to Lord Shiva and she says, my father is organizing a very nice festival, yajna, so let's go. And Lord Shiva gives a lot of advice. We should not go like this wherever your father does not have a good opinion about me. If you go, it will not be good. Then Mother Parvati, she says, no, to father, to spiritual master, we don't need invitation. We can go on our own. It's not that they have to invite us. So even if there is a program organized by father, spiritual master, we should not wait. Oh, he should call us. No, we should go on our own. We should do seva. So it's all my father who has organized. I don't need invitation. I think we should go. Then Lord Shiva said, that is fine, but when you go to a place where they insult you, the result will be like death. Actually, Lord Shiva almost predicted what will happen. But Sati Devi became upset that Lord Shiva is trying to stop her. And then she, on her own, even though Shiva advised, but she, along with Nandi, she came, she attended. And she comes as expected. Everyone ignores her, does not give respect. And she says, okay, fine, anyway I have come to this Havan, let me attend this Yajna and go back. So she's sitting. When the time came for the offering to be given to Lord Shiva in the Yajna, there is some portion of the offering that goes to Lord Shiva. That time Daksha came and stopped it. He said, don't give any offering to Lord Shiva. He is unfit to receive any offering. So then Sati Devi, she was tolerating everything at that time. She got enraged. She said, what is this? You are insulting my husband. How can you do this? And then like this, she got very upset. She said, even though my husband told me don't go, but I came here. But now you see, I'm getting to see all the offenses. So I cannot go back to Kailasa. It's not that my husband Shiva will be upset. You see, I told you. It's not that he is going to taunt me. He's a very nice person. But now I cannot go back with this memory that my father is such an offending father, and this, when I go back, Lord Shiva will call me, oh Dakshayani, please come. And the moment he calls me Dakshayani, it will remind me of you, Daksha. So as long as I have this body, it keeps reminding me of you. So I'll give up this body. So with her yoga shakti, Sati Devi gave up her body in the yoga Agni. And this information Narad Muni came and gave to Lord Shiva in Kailasa. So Lord Shiva became very angry. From his jata, he created Veerabhadra. And Veerabhadra with all the Shivagana came and destroyed the Daksha Yajna and killed that Daksha also. So this is the background. Now all the Devatas, they became worried, they got scared. And they came to Lord Brahma, offered prayers. This is what has happened. Please come and save. Please save us. Lord Brahma said, come, let us all go to Kailasa. Let us pacify Lord Shiva. Only he can solve this problem. So this is what has happened till now. All the Devatas are coming to Kailasa. On their way, what they saw is what is Bhagavatam is describing. What are they seeing on their way? How is the Kailasa? How is the atmosphere? So that is a Kailasa atmosphere. The journey that Devatas are seeing is what we are hearing. So what we heard so far is how when there is a Vaishnava Dvesha, how everything gets destroyed. Daksha Yajna became incomplete because of Vaishnava Dvesha, because of his unhealthy relationship with other devotee, Lord Shiva. Daksha is also devotee, but he is not having a cordial relationship with Lord Shiva. Why? Because of this kind of a materialistic calculation. I am superior to Lord Shiva. He thinks like that. In our day-to-day life also, if we develop this kind of a mood and feelings and attitude, I am superior to another devotee. Why? Because I am senior. Or maybe some relationship. I am his father-in-law, so I am superior. So I need more respect. So Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, many times he brings this topic. In the 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita, when Lord Krishna gives criteria, eligibility, who goes to spiritual world? He says who is eligible to go to spiritual world. The first eligibility he gives is this eligibility. The somebody who is not mad after, somebody who is not hankering for so-called this respect in the material world. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha. Nirmana, somebody who has become free from this disease of seeking material respect. Nirmana, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu beautifully said the same thing. Amani namanadena. So, such a person is eligible to be in the spiritual world, to associate with the Supreme Lord and be with other devotees. But here is Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us, giving this warning that if we don't develop this carefully, no, I'm a devotee. Okay, you may be a devotee like Daksha. And Daksha is not an ordinary person, by the way. He is one of the very, very big posts. Prajapati is a very big post. Sometimes devotees may occupy big post. They may be handling big responsibilities, but still we should be very careful that we don't develop this disease of demanding respect, fighting for respect. Respect is given to us very lovingly. Lovingly it is given. That is the etiquette, but not that we fight for it. So Daksha was fighting for it. I should be given respect. Why am I not getting respect? I want respect. So because of this problem that I want respect, I should be treated specially. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said there are 6 problems in our bhakti, weeds in our bhakti. Puja, labha, pratishtha, kutinati, nishiddhachara, jiva himsa, like this. Out of this is this puja, labha, pratishtha. Puja, I should be worshipped, I should be glorified. Pratishtha, I should be specially treated. I should be specially treated. So that this kind of a problem in the Daksha created all this destruction. Such a big problem it created. Vaishnava Dvesha, wherever Vaishnava Dvesha, misbehavior is there, that Krishna will not tolerate. In the chapter 11 Bhagavad Gita, the last shloka, 55th shloka, same topic Krishna brings. He says, who is eligible to go back to spiritual world? There also. Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu, nirvairaha. No enmity with others. No enmity with others. You see here, Daksha Prajapati is creating unnecessary enmity. Especially with those people, those who are not doing any problem. They are not creating any problem to you. Even with such people we create problem. In the name of respect. We have to be very careful. Otherwise we see Krishna is samoham sarva bhutana. Just because Daksha is, that doesn't mean that Krishna will keep quiet. If you are a devotee, but if you don't know how to behave with another devotee, then you will also have to face the consequences. Krishna will not come, he will not save you. He will allow you to face the consequences. So this is what happened. Now, another very important lesson we see here is that when we become angry, we have to control our anger. When Daksha became angry, he did not control his anger. He destroyed everything. There are so many reasons why we can become angry. So Daksha became angry because somebody did not show him respect. And as a result of that, he became the cause of his own daughter's death. She is not some ordinary daughter. She is an exalted personality. He lost her. See, when we don't control our anger, we lose good people in our own family, in our own organization, in our own friend circle. You see, Daksha, because he did not control his anger, he misbehaved. As a result of that, he lost his daughter, who is so good and so great. he lost her. And then he insulted and he destroyed the whole program. On the contrary, we see Lord Shiva. He was insulted by Daksha, but he was not angry at all. He completely ignored it. He did not take it seriously. He just forgave Daksha in the first time. He did. But now in the second time, Shiva became angry. So now somebody may say, what is the difference between Daksha and Shiva? Daksha also became angry. Shiva also now became angry. He became so angry that he came and destroyed the Prajapati Yajna and finally cut off the head of Daksha. What is the difference between these two people? No. Externally, both of their anger look anger, but these two angers are very different anger. Daksha's anger is a selfish anger. Shiva's anger is a dharmic anger. How do we know this? Daksha did not get respect, so he became angry. Shiva was insulted, but Shiva did not become angry. This itself shows that Lord Shiva's anger is not a personal, selfish anger. Especially when you have the power to retaliate and you don't retaliate, that tells you how much self-control you have got. You see, when the Daksha did not get the respect that he expected, he should have tolerated it. What is the Lord Krishna's advice in Bhagavad Gita? Mana, apamana, one has to tolerate. Matra sparshastu kaunteya, shitoshna sukhadukkada, agama apaina anityaha, tam titikshva bharata. Vyathayantyete. In the next shloka, Krishna says, if you don't learn this, you are not eligible for Amrita. You are not eligible for the spiritual life. So Daksha was supposed to tolerate, control, but he did not tolerate. He outbursted. But Lord Shiva tolerated the insult, abuse of Daksha. He tolerated it. That shows the greatness of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is obviously, in terms of the capability and the power, is much, much, much more than Daksha. Despite being powerful, despite having so much power, simply by opening the third eye, he can destroy the whole world. He could have destroyed Daksha for speaking all that, but Lord Shiva kept quiet. He tolerated. That shows that Lord Shiva has complete self-control. Srila Prabhupada, when he explained the shloka, Dehino asmin yatha dehe, for the word dhira, Srila Prabhupada explained how Lord Shiva is that dhira. He's one of the dhira. So he has that self-control. So that Lord Shiva controlled himself. He did not become angry and upset. Then why did he become angry and upset? He became angry and upset for a dharmic reason. What is that dharmic reason? As long as Daksha was targeting Shiva, that was okay. We all tolerate insult when it is targeted to me. If the insult is targeted to me, I should not bother. I should tolerate it. Forget it. But now Daksha's offense has crossed the boundary. It has now taken the life of Sati Devi. You see how, if it is not controlled, if the lesson is not taught, you can go out of control. You can do offense to anybody and everybody. So Lord Shiva's anger was not because he got offended, because now Sati Devi, her life is gone. And Daksha is just not bothered about it. He's unconcerned. His heart has become so numb. You see, when we become offensive, we don't care for such consequences. That such great person, Sati Devi, she has given up her life, and Daksha has become unconcerned. He's like, okay, fine, no problem. Let her die. Let her go away. So when we become like that, that is not good for us. First of all, offense will make us like that. We become unconcerned. Even if someone goes away, someone dies. So Lord Shiva said, this is the time we have to teach lesson. So that is how Lord Shiva, he became angry. Exactly like how Hanuman became angry. In the Lanka, when Hanuman went to search Mother Sita, so he wanted to meet Ravan. So that's how on his own he got caught. And then he was presented before Ravana. And they made so much fun of Hanuman. You are a monkey, look at you, how ugly you look, so many things like that they made. Like all kinds of abuse and insult, apaman was done, and Hanuman was simply sitting. He was totally undisturbed. Why? Because if it is an insult to me, I don't care. But the moment Ravana and his people started making comments on Lord Ram, then Hanuman said, this is intolerable. And what was the result of that offense? The result of that offense was Lanka Dahan. Exactly like that, Lanka Dahan happened. Like that now Daksha Prajapati's Yajna Dahana happened. Everything was destroyed. Why? Because of offense. How Ravana offended Sri Ram and Lanka Dahana happened. Like that Daksha offended Shiva and his entire palace was burnt, everybody died, and his own head was cut off. So this is the result. We should be very careful that, see, Ravana was a demon. It is expected that he will behave like that, we can say. But Daksha was not a Rakshasa. He is a devotee. So Bhagavatam is saying, even if you are a devotee, you should be careful. Don't do offenses. Don't do Vaishnava Dvesha. Don't keep grudge. This Daksha was keeping grudge. That Shiva did not show me respect. I will not forget it. Sometime it so happened, for some reason we may get upset. Momentarily we may become angry. It is natural. It is natural. We may get angry, we may get upset. But keeping that for a long time and waiting for opportunity to take revenge is not at all good for devotees. And Daksha was doing that. He was keeping that grudge. In the previous Daksha Yajna, Shiva did not get up and keep that in the mind and wait for a next opportunity to show his anger, show his that. It is not good for devotees. Lord Krishna will not come and save you. For that, Daksha's head was cut off. So that's what happened. Veerabhadra cut off, and Brahma comes with all the devatas and they offer prayer to Shiva. And Shiva is so nice and is so good. Now when everybody offered prayers, he becomes passive. He doesn't keep any grudge. That is the true behavior of a Vaishnava. When he understood, now Daksha has learnt lesson. Whatever has to happen has happened. Now Lord Shiva himself comes and that whatever goat, that Bali was there, which was supposed to be offered in that Brihaspati Stava Yajna, from the same goat he replant or whatever, the transplantation of the head happened. So he revives Daksha's life. Even though he is the cause of all the insult, Lord Shiva does not keep in his heart. Lord Shiva does not keep in his mind, this Daksha is the cause of my wife's death. No, he doesn't keep. He does not keep any grudge. That is why his name is Shiva. Shiva means very auspicious. Those who don't keep any dvesha, no grudge, they develop auspiciousness in their heart. And when there is auspiciousness in your heart, then Lord Krishna will come and manifest his presence in such a place. When there is no auspiciousness, there is a enmity, there is a dvesha, there is grudge. We cannot expect Lord God's presence in our heart, it becomes unlivable place for our own self. So Lord Shiva, how do we know Lord Shiva's anger is a dharmic anger? Because after whatever lesson is taught, Lord Shiva did not keep any enmity with Daksha. He did not keep any grudge with Daksha. He forgave him, he revived him, and he blessed him. And now they completed the yajna also. After Daksha begged forgiveness, he completed yajna. That means we can complete the project, the task, the seva that we want to offer to the Lord only when you first of all get out of Vaishnava Dvesha. When you first set right all your relationships, then only the Lord will allow you to complete your service. The Lord will say, I don't want your yajna when you have all this kind of things in your heart. When Daksha learned the lesson, when he understood, I should have good relationship with Lord Shiva, when he realized that I should have good feelings for Lord Shiva, came out of that, the Lord allowed him to complete Brihaspati's Tava Yajna. So we cannot be successful in our attempt to serve the Lord, to please the Lord, as long as we don't have good relationship with other devotees who are also servants of the Lord. So this is what we learn from this beautiful pastime, that Maitreya Vidura Samvada. Maitreya Rishi is telling this, that how this Vaishnava Ninda, unhealthy relationship, misbehavior with another devotee can create catastrophe in our life, can create havoc in our life. It will not bring any good. But when we realize our mistake, beg forgiveness, when we correct ourselves, that is a quality of a devotee. A devotee always corrects himself. Daksha is a devotee. He corrected himself. Devotees can do mistake. Krishna says, Suduracharaha. Even if you do durachara, but devotees always kshipram bhavati dharmatma. So this Daksha, because he is a devotee, he realized his mistake. He came back to his senses. So that's what is going to happen now. All the devatas, they're approaching Lord Shiva. And so Shiva, by hearing the prayers of all these devatas, he'll go and he'll bless Daksha. So with this, we'll stop here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.